20 years, to Wang Lin, was but the blink of an eye. His research into immortal arts and control of immortal treasures had made time flow by like water, unnoticed, and more than 50 years had passed in the blink of an eye. Only less than 10 years remained until the day of the agreement with the ancient demon. Over the past century, aside from studying immortal arts and immortal treasures, Wang Lin had never ceased engraving the seal of demon dispersal. Within the mind of this demon, Wang Lin's mark grew deeper with each passing day. Decades had passed, and Wang Lin had only begun to scratch the surface of the body immobilization art. The wonder of this art lay not in the quantity of internal immortal chi, but in understanding the way of heaven. To be precise, the scope of this immortal art had long surpassed the realm of cultivators. It was like an extremely profound branch of knowledge, requiring constant research and understanding before one could hope to master and perform it. Many years had passed for Wang Lin to gradually understand the slaughter immortal art and make small achievements. The body immobilization art was no different. Immersed in these immortal arts, Wang Lin lost track of time. During the decades of his seclusion, the soul-refining tribe periodically sent large numbers of its members to the Flame Demon Province to collect souls and strengthen themselves. This phenomenon changed only after troops from various demon prefectures entered the Heavenly Demon Province. The tribe no longer sent people out but began to defend continuously within their territory. A large number of tribe members returned from the Flame Demon Province, and they engaged in fierce battles with the demon soldiers from other factions within the Heavenly Demon Province. However, the strength of the soul-refining tribe was still too small, and they could only defend beneath the black mist of the soul banner, unable to venture out. Gradually, the invading demon soldiers, unable to breach the ancient demon seal's capital, turned their sights on the soul-refining tribe. After all, this small tribe seemed to possess some strange qualities, especially the black mist above it, which acted as a natural defense, repelling attacking demon soldiers several times. Of course, not all the demon prefectures focused on the soul-refining tribe. Only the leaders of 2 prefectures did so, while the remaining 5 turned their attention back to the Flame Demon Province. The demon soldiers sent from the Demon Spirit 7 prefectures were not many, for they could not summon the same resolve as the Heavenly Demon Province, which had emptied its ranks. At this moment, the Vice Commander of the Water Demon Province and the Vice Commander of the Thunder Demon Province each led 10,000 demon soldiers to surround the soul-refining tribe, positioning themselves in the north and south. The Vice Commander of the Water Demon Province was a woman with an ordinary appearance, but her eyes glinted with coldness. By her side stood the Demon General of the Water Demon Province. As for the Thunder Demon Province, the Vice Commander was a middle-aged man, the only one not wearing armor. Lightning flickered around his body, and the ground beneath his feet was scorched black. This little wild tribe has such an odd treasure. How interesting. The man's voice was like a bell, though it seemed to resonate like thunder. Though we haven't gained much from this trip to the Heavenly Demon Province, taking this strange treasure back to offer to the Demon Emperor is not a bad choice. The man's eyes flashed with electricity. With a stamp of his foot, the ground cracked with a boom as lightning spread in all directions, expanding the scorched area. With a leap, the man shot into the air, moving with great speed, clearly at the peak of the early stages of the Ascendant Realm. In a single step, he crossed the distance and arrived at the black mist surrounding the soul-refining tribe. A powerful aura of demon power radiated from him, forming an invisible shield that pushed back the pressure emanating from the black mist. Inside the soul-refining tribe, Oyanghua remained calm, focusing his gaze on the sky. All the tribe members sat cross-legged on the ground, each in deep meditation. Soul, scatter. Oyanghua shouted, and at once, all the tribe members dispersed their collected souls. In an instant, the entire world was filled with souls resembling black mist, controlled by each individual. They formed a long rainbow of black energy and charged toward the man. The man laughed heartily, advancing instead of retreating. He threw a punch, releasing immense demon power, accompanied by the roar of thunder. The punch tore through the black energy like a thunder dragon. Not far away, the Vice Commander of the Water Demon Province coldly watched the battle and said flatly, "Thunder Commander has underestimated this black mist." A demon general standing beside the woman was slightly surprised and asked, "My lady, is there something strange hidden within this black mist? Can the Thunder Commander break it?" "This black mist is extremely strange. It is made up of souls. If no one is in control, the Thunder Commander could break it. But if someone is guiding it, the Thunder Commander will need to use all his strength to break it." The demon general laughed and said, "Even better. We can make a deal with him. He takes the black mist, and the tribe belongs to us. In this way, we get the entire soul-refining tribe without lifting a finger. We will surely gain from studying them. In mid-air, the mighty man swung his fist, releasing a thunder dragon that roared with earth-shaking force. It charged directly towards the black mist formed by the gathered tribe members. As the collision occurred, a deafening shockwave exploded out of nowhere. Outside the soul-refining tribe, the black mist was torn apart by this blast, creating a visible rift. As the black river of energy dissipated, the man, his body crackling with lightning, laughed maniacally. A mere savage tribe dares to act before me, Thunder Commander? A bunch of lowly ants. As he spoke, the man stepped forward, following the gap torn in the mist. In the distance, the demon soldiers of Thunder Demon Province cheered, their voices booming out, almost rivaling the thunderous roar of the man himself, adding to his already overwhelming presence. Nearby, a woman from Water Demon Province shook her head slightly and said, "This battle is already decided. After today, the soul-refining tribe will vanish without a trace. Prepare yourselves. Once Thunder Commander deals with the mist, we will capture everyone. If any savages resist, kill them immediately." Her surrounding demon generals all nodded in agreement. The man, his body still enveloped in lightning, stepped directly into the soul-refining tribe. In his grin, he seemed to already see the fear and panic in the eyes of the tribe members. However, as soon as he entered, he froze. All around him, within a radius of hundreds of miles, countless tribe members sat cross-legged on the ground, all looking up at him. But their gazes were not the panic-filled ones he had expected. Instead, they were eerily calm, and this calmness was no act. In those eyes, there was even a trace of mocking and cold malice. These strange gazes caused the vice-commander of Thunder Demon Province to feel a jolt in his mind. His steps involuntarily slowed. From his vantage point, he immediately saw the central area of the tribe, where a 10-mile radius of empty space stood, and in the middle of it, a towering structure loomed. The moment he saw the tower, his eyes narrowed. With his experience, he could tell that large tribes often had their own beliefs, and clearly, the belief of this tribe was embodied in this tower. "As long as I destroy this tower, let's see if you still have the courage to look at me like that." The man sneered, his body swaying as he charged towards the tower. The tribe members on the ground remained silent, staring coldly at him. This silence, like an invisible pressure, made the man feel a sense of unease deep inside. But with his high cultivation, he scoffed and approached the tower. He swung his right fist, about to strike. "Freeze." A soft, almost imperceptible voice floated out from within the tower. The voice was faint, yet the moment it appeared, it seemed to freeze time itself. Even the black mist in the sky came to a standstill. A mysterious power appeared out of nowhere, instantly enveloping the man. The man's body trembled. The lightning that had been swirling around him froze in place, and all his energy vanished in that instant. His body hung motionless in midair, unable to move. His fist, half-cocked, could not be struck. The only thing that moved were his eyes, which were filled with unprecedented terror. The fear in his eyes was so profound, it could flood the entire land of demonic spirits. Wang Lin's figure stepped out from the tower. His long hair billowed behind him, and he wore white robes, resembling an immortal. As he walked out, he didn't even glance at the man. With a flick of his sleeve, the man was instantly blasted away as if struck by a fierce wind. He coughed up blood and was sent tumbling out of the soul-refining tribe. The man's body was like a shooting star, with blood mist erupting from his body. After being hurled out of the tribe, he crashed onto the ground with a thud. He was utterly motionless, unable to move an inch. The surroundings fell silent. The woman from Water Demon Province's pupils constricted. Her mind went blank for a moment, but immediately after, her body shuddered and she screamed, "Retreat." But it was too late. Wang Lin, with his hands clasped behind his back, floated out of the soul-refining tribe. Behind him, all the tribe members followed, their killing intent palpable. The woman's face changed dramatically, and she shouted, "Formation." As the demon soldiers stirred, the demonic aura began to rise. "Freeze." Wang Lin spread his arms, lifted his head, and closed his eyes. Decades of insight had brought him to the edge of immortal arts. At this moment, his mind expanded, and the immortal art of immobilization was fully unleashed for the first time. With a single word, the world stood still. Everyone outside the soul-refining tribe was frozen in place. The tribe members of the soul-refining tribe, seemingly receiving an order, rushed out and immediately began their bloodthirsty slaughter. At the same time, the soul banner of the heavenly demon, black mist pouring down from the sky, enveloped everything around them. The woman from the Water Demon Province was also immobilized, but after just 3 breaths, a flash of blue light enveloped her, and intense fear appeared in her eyes. Without saying a word, she turned and fled. At that moment, 3 sword lights screamed through the air, catching up to her in the blink of an eye, surrounding her body. The souls of Zishu, Haizhu, and Mo Yang roared as they emerged. The woman's mind trembled, and in the next instant, 3 swords pierced through her body. A mist of blood filled the air, and she perished. Wang Lin was floating in midair, quietly sensing the power of immortal arts. The battle on the ground seemed like a different world to him, not sparking any interest. This immortal art. I still haven't fully mastered it, but the day of the agreement with the ancient demon is nearing, and I can no longer continue my comprehension. It's time to leave, Wang Lin muttered. With a wave of his right hand, the 3-talon sword formation flew towards him, with the soul of the woman clutched in the mouth of the beast Zishu. A month later, Wang Lin walked out of the soul-refining tribe. Before leaving, he took the soul banner with him, but left behind a trace of his divine sense to protect the tribe. Wang Lin didn't immediately head towards the Fire Demon Province. Instead, he went in his cave residence. On the path of the dragon, he carefully memorized all 11 of the runes, then left. The Jade Slip mentioned 12 runes, but now only 11 remain. I wonder where the final one went. Wang Lin's expression remained unchanged as he stepped forward, performing a great teleportation, heading straight for the Fire Demon Province. Within the Fire Demon Province, the flames of war were raging. The other 7 provinces continually sent reinforcements, turning the Fire Demon Province into a complete battlefield. The ground, stained with blood from nearly a century of war, emitted a strong stench of death upon entering. Besides blood, countless shattered bones littered the ground. Waves of death energy emanated from these bones, forming a gray mist that enveloped the entire Fire Demon Province. This war was a battle of extinction for both the Heavenly Demon Province and the Fire Demon Province. It could even be said that neither side had a true victor, as both provinces had annihilated each other's forces, exchanging lives for lives. The imperial capital of the Fire Demon Province had been emptied, with even the Demon Emperor personally engaging in the battle. The entire capital, except for the sacred land of Demon Ancient, was desolate. The ancient demons of the Fire Demon Province followed the example of the Heavenly Demon Province, using their divine abilities to seal off the capital, not allowing anyone to enter at this critical moment. The Demon Valley of the Fire Demon Province was not outside the city but deep within it, emanating thick demonic aura that surrounded the imperial capital. From a distance, the capital appeared to be encircled by demonic aura, with large swathes of death energy permeating the air. It looked like a city shrouded in fog, evoking a deep sorrow in anyone who gazed upon it. Wang Lin's footsteps echoed on the earth outside the Fire Demon Province's capital, each creak sounding unusually loud in the quiet surroundings. The dark red earth felt muddy beneath his feet, the source of this mud being the blood of millions who had died in the past century, slowly seeping into the ground. With his long hair fluttering in the wind, Wang Lin walked through the mist. The creaking sound of his steps continued to reverberate. The fog-shrouded city was extremely desolate. It was hard to imagine that a century ago, the prosperity here rivaled that of the Heavenly Demon Province's celestial demon city. But now, it was a dead silence. To the ancient demons in the land of demonic spirits, the people were nothing more than tools they had cultivated to restore their own demonic power. Even if all of them perished, they would feel no more emotion than if they had crushed an ant. The people of the Fire Demon Province's imperial capital, whether Demon Emperor, Demon Commander, or Demon Soldiers, had all joined the battlefield, transforming into bones scattered across the land, their blood staining the earth. Wang Lin's heart remained as calm as an ancient well as he walked forward, step by step. 10 miles outside the Fire Demon Province's imperial capital, the ancient demon's demonic aura seal spread. The power of the seal was incredibly strong. It was one of the ancient demon's protective measures, and even the demon commanders from the other provinces could not break it. The only ones capable of breaking this seal, besides other ancient demons, were those with extraordinary cultivation in divine arts. Ancient demon Beluo once said that after the imperial capital of the Fire Demon Province was emptied, the ancient demons would definitely seal the city to prevent anyone from entering. So the first step of our agreement was to break this seal, Wang Lin said, standing outside the demon veil. He raised his right hand, and dark light flickered at his fingertips as he pointed forward. As his finger touched the demon veil, a massive rebounding force surged, causing Wang Lin's finger to be violently repelled. A numbing sensation immediately spread up his finger, flowing into his veins. Wang Lin's immortal power surged within him, restoring normalcy after a brief moment. Indeed, it's very powerful, Wang Lin muttered. At that moment, a fierce divine sense suddenly shot out from the imperial capital, accompanied by a roar that shook Wang Lin's primordial spirit. The voice was like the crashing of thunder in the sky, shaking the heavens and earth with a deafening sound. Get out. The roar was as deafening as countless spring thunders exploding in the sky, reverberating through Wang Lin's ears. Wang Lin raised his right hand, forming an extremely strange seal. If one looked closely, they would notice a dense aura of demonic chi surrounding it. The roaring sound that descended upon Wang Lin instantly dissipated as it arrived. Beluo. You were sent by Beluo. The arrogant divine sense within the capital roared once more, filled with intense anger. Wang Lin ignored the voice, taking a deep breath as he murmured, Ancient demon Beluo, you shall witness the first step of our agreement. He raised his right hand, pointing to the sky. A glimmer of cold light flashed in his eyes as he calmly uttered, Slaughter Chi, converge. These 5 simple words could not compare to the sound of thunder and created no ripples in the universe. Yet, the moment he spoke, a storm of unimaginable intensity erupted throughout the Flame Demon Province. In the northern part of the Flame Demon Province, where a fierce battle raged, a large number of both sides' demon troops suddenly trembled all over, and a thick wave of lethal intent erupted from their bodies, seemingly capable of piercing through the heavens. This lethal aura shot out in an instant and vanished into the distance. The ancestor has descended. The faces of the demon soldiers lit up with excitement. They ceased their fighting and quickly retreated from the battlefield. In the southern battlefield of the Flame Demon Province, the battling armies were interrupted by countless figures in black. These black-clad individuals moved with breathtaking speed, their bodies radiating a strong aura of lethal intent. As they moved, they claimed the lives of demon soldiers, reducing them to ash that was absorbed into their essence. Both sides were familiar with these black figures. Over the past century, they had grown accustomed to their presence. These elusive beings came and went without a trace, and no one knew their origins. Even attempts at subjugation often ended in failure and heavy losses. However, in this moment, as those figures moved swiftly, they suddenly quivered, their eyes filled with ecstasy. They began to disperse rapidly. With each departure, waves of intense lethal aura surged from their bodies, transforming into a torrent of slaughter that flickered in the sky. This scene unfolded simultaneously across countless locations in the Flame Demon Province. The sky became shrouded in a dark mist that emanated an unimaginable lethal energy, flashing across the heavens. In that instant, it felt as if the entire world was enveloped in infinite slaughter, emanating a fierce aura that penetrated to the bone. The combatants in the Flame Demon Province halted their fighting, gazing uncertainly at the sky, their expressions bewildered. Among the demon soldiers and black-clad figures were hidden members of the soul-refining tribe from the past century. Even many leaders from both sides contained individuals from the soul-refining tribe. In this moment, countless leaders in the Flame Demon Province trembled, their lethal energies bursting forth before suddenly vanishing. Once the lethal aura was lost, they quickly retreated, employing their respective techniques to escape. This scene left all the survivors astounded. The sky, once blue, had turned gray with the eruption of slaughtering energies, soaring toward the imperial capital of the Flame Demon Province. 100,000 waves of slaughtering energy, charged with a heavy aura, converged from all directions toward Wang Lin. The roaring sounds above the imperial capital never ceased, and where Wang Lin stood felt like the center of a vast whirlpool, with waves of slaughtering energy roaring toward him. Each wave of lethal energy was countless times thicker than that from 100 years prior. Its contained killing intent far exceeded the past. The nourishment accumulated over a century had nearly solidified this 100,000 waves of slaughtering energy into a tangible mass. Divide. A flash of red light glimmered in Wang Lin's eyes as the intent to kill merged into the source of the slaughtering energy. The 100,000 waves of slaughtering energy, which already obscured the sky, suddenly split in half with a single command from Wang Lin. In an instant, they transformed into 200,000. And it didn't stop there. 200,000 further divided. And again. And again. In that moment, the world was engulfed in heavy gray mist. This mist was no mere fog. It was pure killing intent, a manifestation of slaughter and murderous heart. The tenfold divide turned the 100,000 slaughtering energies into 1,000,000 in the blink of an eye. This million could still be divided, but Wang Lin's immortal slaughter art was only just beginning to form, and 1,000,000 represented a bottleneck. This was why he hadn't killed personally. Instead, he relied on the members of the soul-refining tribe to cultivate the slaughter. "Break for me." Wang Lin's long hair danced as he suddenly pointed at the demon veil seal. In that moment, the million waves of slaughtering energy surged toward the seal, falling like rain. If their power was feeble, it would be ineffective, but Wang Lin's million waves of slaughtering energy had been nurtured for 10 years, and their awe-inspiring capability was undeniable. With the slight success of the slaughtering energy, it had become a new deadly technique for Wang Lin, ranking alongside the Annihilation Finger and the Demon Transformation Finger as a trio of his greatest attacks. As for the body immobilization art, it was a life-saving divine ability that Wang Lin had prepared for himself. After attempting to use it twice, he decided to keep it hidden deeply. Only when no one knew about it, and when used unexpectedly, could it play its role in saving his life at a critical moment. The million-strong slaughter chi fell like rain from the sky, immediately causing a series of thunderous sounds on the demon veil outside the city of Fire Demon Province. In an instant, it was as though a million razor-sharp sword chi were striking, and after a few moments, the booming sounds on the demon veil grew louder, nearly merging into one continuous roar. The demon veil trembled violently, and Wang Lin, calm as ever, stood outside it, watching coldly. Not long after, cracks began to appear on the veil. These cracks multiplied quickly, and in the end, with a huge crash, the veil collapsed entirely. The million slaughter chi surged in, and instantly, gray mist filled every corner of the capital. With the demon veil broken, Wang Lin advanced. Without the veil's protection, the demon valley at the heart of the capital erupted like a storm. In the sky above, purple mist swirled, and within it emerged a massive demon shadow with two horns growing from its head. Its deep, sinister gaze seemed to peer down at Wang Lin from the sky, as if looking at ants. "You lowly cultivator, even with Baal-Yua's protection, if you dare destroy my demon veil, you will still die without a doubt." The voice of the demon shadow was like a gust from the ninth hell, erratic and haunting. The demon shadow waved its right hand through the air, and immediately, the entire Fire Demon Province capital vanished in an instant. The surrounding environment transformed into a red world, the red hue of blazing fire. Lava erupted from the ground, and the sky above turned a fiery crimson under the intense light of the flames. With booming sounds echoing, hot air shot up from the ground, forming ethereal figures. In the blink of an eye, over 100 such figures appeared in front of the ancient demon. Wang Lin raised his right hand, and the million slaughter chi merged into his body, forming the seal of life on his forehead. In an instant, the million seals of life overlapped and spread across his entire body. Then, he slapped his storage pouch, and the demon armor, in the form of black threads, instantly wrapped around him, transforming into a ferocious black suit of armor. His face was hidden behind the armor, only his cold, sharp eyes visible. His long hair billowed, and with a step, he floated off the ground. In a flash, he shot forward. The ethereal figures before the ancient demon revealed their ferocious expressions and roared, unleashing various divine abilities to block Wang Lin. Wang Lin's eyes flashed coldly, his speed increasing as he darted forward. At the same time, he pointed his finger, and the Annihilation Finger shot out like a streak of lightning. As for the attacks from the ethereal figures, Wang Lin didn't even glance at them. Even when they struck his body, the demon aura from the demon armor and the protection of the million seals of life blocked them effortlessly. These attacks were completely ineffective against him. Like lightning, Wang Lin shot toward the massive ancient demon in the purple mist above. The ancient demon's eyes glinted with mockery, and he sneered, the rogue demon armor of the ancient demon lord, but without a demon heart, wearing it as a waist. He opened his mouth and let out a sharp whistle. The sound turned into ripples filled with dense demonic energy, crashing toward Wang Lin. Wang Lin's eyes glinted with cold light as he pointed forward once again, lightly uttering, demon transformation. With a single gesture, the demon armor on him seemed to echo with a chorus of cheers. Countless demonic energies poured out from it, rushing into his body through his mouth, nose, and all 7 orifices. The energy circulated within him, then converged into his fingers, erupting outward. In that instant, Wang Lin's long hair swirled around him. The demonic aura radiating from his body was intense, as if he had truly become a demon. This was the peak of demon transformation while wearing the demon armor. A gust of demonic wind surged forward, like a rainbow of demonic energy. Wang Lin, behind it, broke through the ancient demon's whistling sound. The ancient demon's eyes still held mockery. Facing the demonic wind coming at him, he opened his mouth and swallowed it whole. He then licked his lips and said, "Not bad, This demonic energy is quite pure. Wang Lin's gaze remained indifferent. At this point, he was still 100 feet away from the ancient demon. With a single step, he closed the distance by another 10 feet. The ancient demon looked at him, a strange gleam flashing in his eyes. Suddenly, he moved. A massive surge of demonic energy erupted from his body, containing his divine sense. As it swept through the area, the surrounding space expanded as if the very heavens and earth were being compressed. Wang Lin's body emitted a series of loud thuds as the demonic energy from the demon armor quickly dissipated. He took a deep breath and calmly said, "Dao manifestation." A yellow spring forced its way into the 100-foot area of compression, spreading a path beneath Wang Lin's feet. The yellow spring surrounded him, and the power of reincarnation instantly filled the air. Wang Lin moved with ease, taking another step, closing the distance by another 10 feet. The ancient demon snorted coldly, his right hand transforming into a claw as he reached out, slashing fiercely toward Wang Lin. The strike, imbued with a thick demonic aura, caused the armor on Wang Lin's body to instantly dissipate into demonic energy, turning into black lines that recoiled back into his body. The millions of seals of life on his body immediately flared with a blinding light. Wang Lin let out a low growl, his body not retreating, but instead charging forward, colliding directly with the ancient demon's claw. Bang! A thunderous sound echoed through the air. The ancient demon's right hand was violently pushed back by Wang Lin's charge, while Wang Lin himself saw the seals of life on his body crumble, losing over 700,000 of them in an instant. However, in the blink of an eye, they began to regenerate, unyielding and persistent. His footstep advanced again, covering another 10 paces. The mockery in the ancient demon's eyes gradually faded, replaced by a cold killing intent. Previously, he had been toying with Wang Lin, but now, as Wang Lin drew closer, he vaguely sensed something was amiss. Someone from the Bailuo clan sent this person here. There must be some purpose behind it. A flash of murderous intent flickered in the ancient demon's eyes. He was unwilling to use his ancient demon divine arts unless absolutely necessary, as each time took a significant toll on him. Demon technique. Demon Slayer. The ancient demon formed hand seals, and whirlpools of demonic power erupted from his body, transforming into powerful divine abilities. The entire magma-like earth immediately began to boil. Waves of heat surged upward, coalescing in front of the ancient demon, swiftly forming into a massive spear. The spear was bright red, exuding a thick demonic aura and radiating an intense, scorching heat. As the spear materialized, an overwhelming sense of danger enveloped Wang Lin. His eyes flashed, but his steps didn't falter. He advanced once more, covering another 10 paces. At the same time, he touched his brow with his right hand, then suddenly pointed forward, softly uttering, "Million slaughters, unite as one." In that instant, the millions of seals of life on Wang Lin's body seemed to be drawn out by his fingertip, bursting forth from his brow and merging into a single force. This single killing aura, filled with such lethal intent that even figures like Tian Yunzi would be moved by it, now gathered at Wang Lin's fingertip. He advanced once more, stepping firmly within 50 paces of the ancient demon. The moment he crossed that threshold, Wang Lin's eyes gleamed brightly. A series of complex and cryptic incantations poured from his mouth as his left hand formed a seal. This seal was a gift from the ancient demon Bailuo. The pact between him and Bailuo was clear. First, break through the demon veil. Second, enter within 50 paces of the ancient demon and cast the seal granted by Bailuo. Once he achieved these two steps, it would be as if he had completed most of the agreement. After all, with Wang Lin's strength, defeating the ancient demon was an impossible task. The entire war had been about hollowing out the defenses of the Flame Demon Province's capital, leaving it unprotected, so that Wang Lin could directly face the ancient demon and enter within the crucial 50 paces. The moment the seal appeared in Wang Lin's left hand, his entire body surged with blood energy, and he suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood. At the same time, the sound of bones cracking echoed from his body, and blood sprayed from every part of him, forming a mist of red. At this moment, the ancient demon's expression shifted drastically. His eyes locked onto the blood mist before Wang Lin, his face growing grim as he muttered, "This blood contains the aura of the ancient god. So it's true." As the blood mist swirled and condensed, it rapidly formed into a blood figure. At the same time, a domineering divine sense descended from the heavens, landing directly on the blood figure, causing it to open its eyes. In that instant, every living being in the Flame Demon Province felt an inexplicable sense of doubt rising in their hearts. Only a few knew the cause, while the majority were gripped by an overwhelming fear, unable to comprehend the source of their unease. At this moment, the remnant souls of the ancient demons from the other 7 provinces also reacted, their gazes flickering toward the direction of the Flame Demon Province capital. You're lucky to have found a cultivator with the aura of the ancient god. Using this person's blood, combined with your divine connection, you can use it to escape from the restricted Heavenly Demon Province, a shadow from the Flame Demon Province said in a low, grave tone. We've been apart for too long. If we continue like this, we'll be annihilated one by one. Our fusion will create a new ancient demon. As for the others, I will devour them one by one. A calm voice emerged from within the blood shadow, and it was Bailuo's voice. Outside the demonic flame, most of Wang Lin's blood had been drawn away, leaving him extremely weak. However, the divine spear of the demon shadow did not dissipate. Instead, it paused for a moment and then surged forward again, crashing toward Wang Lin. The spear howled as it rushed toward him. Wang Lin's right hand gathered the killing aura into a single point, and without hesitation, he thrust it forward to meet the spear's tip. An explosive force surged violently, rushing straight from the tip of the spear into Wang Lin's hands, rapidly consuming the slaughter chi. At the same time, the slaughter chi, in the process of being consumed, also rushed into the spear, continuously damaging its structure. A series of loud bangs rang out, as if countless thunderbolts were crashing between the ancient demon and Wang Lin. It seemed that the million units of slaughter chi were on the verge of collapsing completely. Wang Lin's eyes flashed, and his right hand suddenly retracted. His body staggered backward for several paces, and the slaughter chi in his hand was given time to delay. It immediately swelled again, regrowing little by little. Wang Lin's fingertips tapped again, pressing down on the spear once more as it charged toward him. This cycle continued until Wang Lin had retreated 100 paces. Only then did the spear's power gradually dissipate, eventually being shattered by Wang Lin's demon transformation chi. Wang Lin's face was pale, blood draining rapidly from his body, leaving him gasping for breath. However, he didn't pause to rest. Instead, his body swayed and he charged forward. His destination was the Demon Valley at the center of the capital. The first step was to break through the Demon Veil, the second step was to summon Bailuo's blood shadow by using the surrounding energy within 50 paces, and the third step was to retrieve the item containing the ancient demon's divine sense. As for the battle between the 2 ancient demons in the sky, Wang Lin had no time to watch. His body moved like lightning, and in a single step, he crossed into the sacred Demon Valley of the Fire Demon Province. The demon ancient was silent, and deep within the valley stood a giant statue radiating dense demon energy. Waves of demon chi rose into the sky, merging with the ancient demon's form, enabling it to fully engage in battle with Bailuo. Wang Lin took a step forward, but immediately halted as a ripple spread from the statue. As the ripple expanded, the demon chi from the statue no longer ascended but instead stopped, merging together to form a demon ancient clone the same size as Wang Lin. The demon ancient had 2 horns on its head, floating in midair, with demon chi swirling around its body, connected to the statue. It coldly gazed at Wang Lin, its eyes filled with a strange demonic gleam. Wang Lin looked at the demon ancient for a moment, then slowly took a step back. Though this was just a clone, its cultivation was still formidable. Wang Lin thought to himself that unless he used the sword chi of Ling Tianhou, he would be unable to resist. Wang Lin, smash the statue, help me merge with it. Afterward, the agreement of the 7 demons will be yours. You won't need to act again, and I will immediately fulfill my promise once merged. Aren't you seeking the enlightenment of the ancient demon's legacy? If you break the statue, and as I merge with it, I will bring your divine sense into it. This way, it's as if you've received the enlightenment of the ancient demon's legacy twice. The benefits for you will be immense. I have helped you multiple times before, and now I seek only a single repayment. Wang Lin, help me. Bailuo's voice echoed in Wang Lin's mind. Wang Lin was silent for a moment, then sighed inwardly. Putting aside the promises of Bailuo, just the fact that this demon had helped him survive life and death tribulations twice was enough to make him act. Wang Lin's eyes flashed coldly, and the 2 strands of sword chi from Ling Tianhou inside him were immediately drawn out and concentrated at his fingertips. The golden radiance in his eyes instantly flickered, enveloping the demon ancient clone. The demon ancient clone, manifesting as a demonic form, showed a serious expression. It raised its hands, drawing runes in the air, each glowing with demonic light. These demon runes formed a net in front of it to block the impact of Ling Tianhou's sword chi. However, The Fire Demon Province's ancient demon had mostly placed its divine sense in the battle with Bailuo. This clone's cultivation was only at the late stage of the Ascendant Realm. Without Ling Tianho's sword qi, Wang Lin would have had no hope of defeating it. But with it, this clone could not withstand the attack. The sword qi howled, golden light flashing, and as it rushed forward, the demon runes barely touched it before collapsing with loud explosions. The sword qi pierced through and charged directly at the demon ancient clone. Its expression changed drastically, and its body suddenly transformed into a massive cloud of demon qi, rushing upward and enveloping the sword qi. The intense demon qi reverberated with the sound of sword howls. Wang Lin took a step forward and entered the valley. As his feet landed, he had already arrived under the statue. Without hesitation, Wang Lin pressed his right hand onto the statue. Stop! The two sounds, more intense than thunder, echoed simultaneously, one from the sky, the other from the demon mist surrounding the sword qi, as though countless thunderclaps had erupted all at once. A gigantic hand suddenly descended from the sky, moving with incredible speed, its claws wildly reaching for Wang Lin. At the same time, the demon mist in the valley parted, forming the head of an ancient demon, which rushed toward Wang Lin with the intent to swallow him whole. Wang Lin's eyes flashed, and as the demon claws from the sky and the demon head from behind approached, his immortal power surged within him. In that instant, it poured into the statue. Crack! Crack! Several sounds rang out as cracks appeared on the statue, and vast amounts of demon power surged out from within the fissures. In that split second, Ling Tianho's sword qi burst forth from the demon mist, piercing through the demon head that was lunging at Wang Lin. With a thought, Wang Lin's sword qi moved at lightning speed, landing on the statue. With a deafening crash, the statue completely collapsed. As it shattered, the demon claws from the sky immediately dispersed. An unwilling roar echoed down from the heavens, followed by the sounds of divine abilities in battle, signaling that Bailuo's intervention had forced the ancient demon of the Fire Demon Province to disregard Wang Lin. The statue's collapse released a torrent of demon qi, and Wang Lin was at the center of it. As the demon energy enveloped him, his gaze immediately locked onto a fragment of the shattered statue. Suspended within it was a severed hand bone. Wang Lin's eyes flickered, and he reached out with his right hand, seizing the bone. The moment his hand touched the bone, an unimaginable force surged into his body, crashing into his primordial spirit. Suddenly, Wang Lin's consciousness flickered, and he seemed to enter a strange space. There was neither sky nor earth here, only a vast void. However, a mysterious power enveloped the surroundings. Wang Lin's mind merged with this space, and a sense of transcendence slowly ascended within his consciousness. Images began to form in the void before his eyes, each one depicting a different divine art he had learned since beginning his cultivation. One of the images showed a young boy, with an innocent face, raising his hands as a large stone slowly floated into the air. The boy's eyes sparkled with excitement as he manipulated the stone to change shape. The image trembled and shattered, and the youthful boy stepped out from the scene, looking at Wang Lin from afar. He smiled faintly, and then sat quietly, his hands continually shifting with the gravity manipulation art, swirling around him. Another image depicted a cold-faced young man with flowing long hair. His eyes were half closed, but whenever they opened, a cold gleam flashed. An overwhelming killing intent radiated from his eyes, causing the golden cores of countless core formation cultivators before him to shatter as their souls scattered. The young man stepped out from the image and glanced at Wang Lin before sitting cross-legged. As his long hair fluttered, an intense killing intent flickered around him. Other images showed Wang Lin performing various divine abilities. His Annihilation Finger, Demon Transformation Art, and Tao Manifestation Yellow Spring all played out before his eyes, with each version of himself stepping out of the scenes and sitting down in meditation. But there was one more image that caused Wang Lin's heart to tremble. It was an image of him wearing gray robes, surrounded by millions of slaughter qi. Wherever he passed, everything was reduced to nothingness. The figure in the gray robes seemed to sense Wang Lin's gaze and turned to look at him, his eyes completely gray. Wang Lin was deeply shaken by these visions. This was not unfamiliar to him. He had seen something similar in Tian Yunzi's divine sense, where countless versions of Tian Yunzi performed the same divine arts. However, As Wang Lin came back to his senses, he realized the difference. The figures in Tian Yunzi's divine sense were solid, like real people, indistinguishable from the truth. But the images of himself now were in a state between reality and illusion, not completely real, nor purely illusory. Real and unreal. Could this be the divine abilities that arise after completing the first step of cultivation and stepping into the dual concepts of yin-yang, the interplay of reality and illusion? Wang Lin took a deep breath. He could only guess, but he wasn't sure. Just then, the figures that had emerged from the images began to disappear one by one, leaving no trace behind. The one that vanished the quickest was the gray-robed figure, performing the slaughter immortal art. In an instant, Wang Lin felt a flash of inspiration. His body swayed forward, merging with the gray figure who was performing the slaughter immortal art.